Okay, hi guys, welcome back to the Audio Levels channel. Welcome back to another review, and today we're taking a look at this, the Salnotes Dioko by 7hz. 7hz, of course, famous for the timeless earphones, which were a more basic competitor to the Tin Hi-Fi P1, which everybody loved, and especially myself. I think it is still one of the best earphones for the price. The Dioko comes in even cheaper. This has been set at a recommended retail price of $99, I think, on Linsole. Links to everything in the description below, but $99 with the stock, what they're calling the stock cable, although there's an option to upgrade the cable, I think. I don't know why you would do that, because as you're about to see, the stock cable is actually really, really nice. I've been using it for a few weeks, and if you're thinking this is going to be a Tin Hi-Fi P1 competitor at a lower price, you're wrong. It's not a competitor for the 7hz Timeless, and it's not a competitor for the original P1 or whatever the hell they're calling the P1 now. This is just a very, very, very good earphone for $99. It misses some of the qualities that make the P1 so special. You don't get that 3D holographic sound. You don't get that sort of weirdly awesome presentation to the sound. This is just a very competent performer that gets a lot right and does very little wrong. Now, on the inside of it, you've got a 14.6mm planar diaphragm. You've got 2-pin connectors. You have a good set of accessories. You have an interesting new sort of design from Timeless, who traditionally have the worst designed earphones on the planet, with that giant circular, let's go into the bag of Skittles. As you see here, this is 7hz Timeless. It's a little bit beaten it up. But it's got a giant circular disc on the outside of it for no reason other than styling, and it makes it a horrible fit. This one a little bit more ergonomically friendly, and I didn't know this when I got it, but it actually seems to have some input from that guy Crinical, whatever that is worth to people. I'm kind of don't really care about, like, I don't know how much input people have or whatever. It doesn't really make a difference to me if it's got somebody's name on it or the brand. But this is a pretty good earphone, so if he has had some input on it, it's a pretty good effort. Now, as always, reboxed everything so you can see what it's like in the package as I talk about them, rather than just waving my hands like I've been doing for the past 2 minutes. Box on the outside, nothing special, just a little bit of design. You see on the side here, 7hz X Crinico and Dioko. I don't know if Salnotes is the line or Dioko is the name of the headphone itself. A little bit weird with the naming scheme. Now, the box, or the carry case, absolutely bang out. How do you put this into a $99 headphone? This is awesome. I mean, this is not going to fit in your pocket. This is massive. I mean, there's a set of Monarch. You can fit multiple headphones in this case, plus a player if you so wish. Let's go ahead and open it. Nice zipper mechanism. Nicely padded on the inside as well, you might want to point out. Now, the cool thing here that I've noticed 7hz doing on this and the other earphone, is it the Zero or something that I'm going to review after this? They have these cool sort of Skittle coloured, taste the rainbow ear tips. The ear tips are very nice themselves. Multicoloured, nice and soft, but not the most grippy. So I do think it's still worth upgrading to something maybe like a set Final E series tips, which fit on these no problem. Let's get the earphones out themselves. Now, if you want to use the case, the problem is this on the inside can get chucked, and then you have a nice big case. This is just for the presentation of the Dioko themselves. Let's take a look at the earphones themselves. This cool sort of, I don't know, gemstone style outer. Pull the pin off and bring it closer so you can get a close-up look. Go if it focuses. Yeah, it sort of changes shade as you turn it. It's still an obtuse, like, giant, overly big circle around the outside, but I think this is a lot more ergonomically friendly. Still, if you're going to use this, you want to be medium to large size ears. It's just not going to work for you if you have small ears. It also has a relatively shallow insertion depth. I'll pop that off, and you can see the turbine style grill guard, the 2-pin connectors, and there's a little bit of venting on the back side, if I can get this to focus. A little bit of venting for the drivers there. Metal build quality, very nice. This looks weird, kind of tacky, but kind of cool at the same time. It's one of those designs that's going to be polarizing. You do have Zendafit tips, which are absolutely brilliant, but these ones I find a little bit too small for my ears, and it's the only one you get in the package. You don't get multiple sizes of that. You get multiple sizes of the cheap silicone. Now, cable is awesome for an earphone this size. It's not as thick gauge as something on a more expensive one, but it has all the good elements of it. Standard 3.5mm plug, metal on the adapter, metal on the splitter, and metal up on the connectors as well. 2-pin connector, flush mounted, which is okay at this price point. Little cable tie there. And you can see that it is a quad braid, but it's spun on the inside of each line. And then after the splitter, it comes into a dual twist, and dual twist into the cable guides at the top that hook over the top of your ears. So I really like that cable. I felt that it was light enough and playful enough, and it didn't retain a lot of memory, and it looks pretty premium. As I said, there's a premium option on Linsole that I'll link below that you can buy bundled for the earphone if you want something more, but I really like that. I think it looks cool. Now, on to how do the earphones sound. A little bit bass emphasized, a little bit treble emphasized. It doesn't have the planar mid-range that I think is so spectacular on the P1. Listening back and forth, I have the P1 here. There is the P1 that I'm talking about for reference. So you can see a lot smaller, and they do have a 10mm driver on the inside. And I just think that this is a whole lot of better earphone, but it's more than 50%, I think, more expensive. So it's something to consider. The Dioko, manages to just do everything very, very well. Very nice tuning is what I would say, but not with that unbelievable resolution of detail that the P1 has, and that's where you get the more value from. I just think the quality and the detail and that 3D holographic presentation that everybody credits planar magnetic headphones with being so special is kind of missing here. That's not to say that this is bad in any way at all, because for under $100, you're getting something that is fast, shows excellent mid-bass detail retrieval, nice texture and detail in the mid-bass, which is, I think, where a lot of earphones miss out on producing that wow factor of detail and quality and resolution, because usually you get swamped by a more muddy bass. The mid-bass on this stands out very, very well. The low end, the very low end for sub-bass reproduction is not as heavy as I was expecting, given that this was meant to be a big, large 14+mm driver on it. It doesn't have that same impact that something like a dynamic driver, a good solid dynamic driver has. But it's admirable, it's fast, it doesn't swamp into the mid-range. Mid-range is where the disappointment is, just because I'm comparing these two side by side, the P1 and the Dioko. I feel like if it had a little bit more detail and resolution in that mid-range, I would have been wowed by them and possibly have even recommended them over the P1, just because there would have been more of a less of a gap, law of diminishing returns. But I think here the gap is still quite stark, where you're not getting the quality that makes planar so special. Now, top end, very smooth, rolled off, tiny little bit of sparkle. Upper mid-range is where it kind of is a little bit disappointing to me, especially on female vocals. I just think that there could have been an extra little bit of sparkle on female vocals, and that by extending the treble, you would have created more of a sense of sound space and sound staging that would have made it sound overall a more grander presentation. As it goes, they're very versatile, depending what types of music you want to listen to. You can throw anything at this and it's going to play it competently with like very little offense. It has good speed. It has okay resolution, it has okay soundstage, but when you consider it at $99, that's when it becomes a bit of a player. Going into more expensive headphones, balanced armatures, I think you'll probably get a little bit more value for money, but the real big step up does come when that P1 hits at that price point. Under $99, can definitely recommend them. Wish Timeless would sort their stupid design out, because I still think that that is ridiculous. And it, especially for an earphone that sells in the Asian market, which traditionally people have smaller ears, they're making some large things with excess points on the faceplate design that I think are not necessary at all. I think they should bring the size down a little bit, although this is definitely a better looking earphone than the 7hz Timeless. So I'll leave you with that, guys. I recommend this if you're looking to definitely stay under $100. Definite easy recommendation. If you're willing to spend that $50 more, don't think that you're not going to be getting much more from the P1. You're definitely jumping up in quality in sound, also better design, MMCX connectors. I just think the P1 is still such a wonderful headphone. So stay tuned this week, guys. Tons and tons and tons of reviews. I have 20 products here right now that I have finished the review process on everything. I've been gone from 3 weeks, for 3 months now. I've had some surgeries, and on Friday I moved to Costa Rica, and yeah, reviews are going to just keep flowing all the way to Christmas now. So like, subscribe, and leave a comment if you own this. I want to see if it's just me that, because I have a reference of multiple different planars, if this is your first planar, how do you think it sounds? Do you think it sounds different to the standard balanced armatures, KZs and stuff like that? I'm really genuinely interested to know if it's just because I have a basis of multiple different planar experience. So catch you on the next video. Thanks for watching.